if I may, Noah, was, when the Plants and Concerns program started in Southern Illinois, he was one of the first people to reach out and say, I want to be part of the program. And we went out and we surveyed orchids. And he, from right at the beginning, said, I think this could be done using a drone. He's very excited about using a drone to do surveys. And so I was receptive, and then with this grant opportunity that he applied for, we got a drone, and I thought that it would be best, it could work out well to look for a rare fern that grows on cliffs, because we can only find and see so far. We can send a drone up to look for this rare fern on the cliffs, and that's what that's his project.
Yeah, so this is what the fern that we were looking for looked like. As you can see, they look quite similar to several other varieties that are also in the same habitat, sharing the same space. And fortunately, Chris helped me determine which was which. It has a few key taxonomic features, but most predominantly it's the has a dark stem and the light colored bractees. So you can usually differentiate Asplenium bradleyi from its relatives with that characteristic. So we were trying to determine whether it was still endangered in the state of Illinois. There were several populations that hadn't been surveyed in over 10 years. And we were the first people to go back to look at those sites to see if they were still extant.
There were 6 in the database that we have to go through. 6 sites.
And there was
there was one new one that a friend had found, another Plants and Concern monitor found and told us about, so we went there as well.
So this is what the fern looks like that we were hunting.
Which we haven't said, it's Bradley's Spleenwort fern, Splenium bradleyi.
Right. And as you can see from the pictures, it's very small. Not as small as some of the other ones, but it's comparable to the length of your fingers. And it usually grows in crevices in cliffs, that expansive cliffs that are like towering, like 30 or 40 feet tall. And they're very challenging to get to. So one of the key questions that my research tried to answer was finding new approaches to discovering new specimens for the species, and also surveying the ones that were known. So these are the kind of cliffs that I was talking about. And as you can see, like the fern could be anywhere on it. And like those cliffs are on both sides, and they stretch for like maybe miles. So trying to look for this tiny fern that's about the size of your finger on cliffs that are taller than the ceiling can be very difficult anyway. So this is showing like how vast the area was that we were looking at. And then we can click on that there. So this was my solution to our problems. It's a type of drone that's at the cutting edge of drone technology, and the company that makes it has manufactured drones that are being used in the Ukraine-Russia conflict and elsewhere. And I was one of the last people invited run before they converted to doing business only. So I wanted the relatively few private citizens that had fun. So why I chose this drone specifically was because of some of its advanced features that included 6 obstacle links cameras that simultaneously monitor its surroundings and kind of like how advanced cars are now automatically steering the earth to the right lane if you get tired. Like the drone has the same kind of capabilities, only it actively avoids obstacles like branches and leaves that are too small that even I wouldn't pick up as the pilot. It can fly autonomously, or also I can be the pilot. I have a license to fly a drone. So that's like the next level up from like the consumer drones that people normally buy as hobbies. And so why those features are necessary is because what I wanted to do, I wanted to have the drone actually fly within the forest and along cliffs that were cluttered environments that had all kinds of sticks and debris and rocks to look out for that I could do to the extent that a human can, but the technology has risen to the level that it's above what I can do. So this is again another one of the sites that we had surveyed for the Fern. It'll be set on this one. This shows you that the drone can see far beyond what I could just see standing at the ground level, and like the drone can actually go up and look very closely at the heights of the bluffs at within like inch range, and using the display on the controller as the operator, I can also see that and make determinations with itself on whether a certain specimen that we're looking at is our target species. So this is kind of what the workflow would look like. I would carry the drone in its space out to our site in the field that we would be working on. I would then once we reached our target destination, I would either launch it off the case, or you can launch it just by holding it and cut the launch. Which helps with super cluttered environments like forests where there might not be any flat space to launch a drone from. So there's 2 ways of flying the drone. You can either, as I mentioned, you can do it with an operator, with an AI assistant, or you can have the drone fly completely autonomously, which means by itself and complete missions, and then just return to you when it's done. And then, of course, you can download the pictures and the videos that you've asked the drone to record on your laptop and process the data there. So these videos are to help demonstrate some of the capabilities of the drone in the field. where it's actually helping to augment researchers' capabilities in our situation, and I hope soon elsewhere. Those would be the So like this shows like how close that it can get to looking at crevices in the rock. And you can see, as Chris points out in that picture, that's actually one of the ferns on the tail pipe. So you can zoom in with the drone and see like you can if you got closer physically. And then the bottom of the So this shows the drone actively helping Chris search the sides of the cliff for ferns. And when I was controlling the drone, I was on the opposite side of the feed. I wasn't anywhere close to Chris. Now I was having the exact same field of view that he was, just standing right next to it. So I of course, with any new technology, there are a lot of challenges that you face along the way. But part of that was like from day one, just that how I loved it, the opportunity to try out the new technology. That and kind of made the grant that not my research. So I had initially paid for the drone 50%, was 50% matched by the INPS committee, with the goal of completing my project and then getting reimbursed for the other 50%. And of course, another thing that we had to contend with was that the Forest Service refused our request.
Forest Service does not allow drone use in wilderness areas and research potential areas, which four of the 6 sites were, and we did not know that.
Yes.
Right, so that was really tough, at least, but nonetheless, we still got our destination.
The idea of our school is though, two state sites.
Yay.
And of course, Chris helped me with unforeseen challenges, they include like figuring out all of the very distinct, all of the very minute details of the plant that differentiate it from its relatives that also are found in the same habitat. And of course, helping with permissions and with expertise as far as where they actually work within the given environment. And of course, I had planned on it, but the inevitable happened. I crashed the drone. And of course, this type of drone with all of its advanced sensors, it is not waterproof. So I fortunately had the foresight to have anticipated just such an event and and gotten a warranty and also spare parts, because I figured that finding such a challenging environment would push the drone to its limits. So this is all the different parts that came with the drone, spare batteries and spare propellers, and that's the travel case. And of course, this was the type of environment that we were working in constantly. So not only was it the challenge of the trees that were overhanging the bluffs and the bluffs themselves, but also the bluffs overhang like usually ravines that were filled with water. So and the drone wasn't waterproof. So I have the replacement drone and I've been using it. This is another type of that we're surveying, and as you can see, it spans about halfway up, of a very large street. And so some of the results from our work were, we were able to survey some new sites with the drone and also just, in person, because, the plant had such a limited history of being studied. Then, of course, we confirmed that the species was in fact endangered, and it was very hard to find even when we knew where to look. Which is again why the drone was helpful for that purpose.
Fill this in. So we had 6 known sites. And 2 of them have been verified expand status, because they haven't been seen in the last 10 years, so we confirmed those are still there. 2 other sites were historical, and we confirmed that those 2 were there. 2 other sites we confirmed. We had 2 failed to find out of 6, but they we added in the site. So we found 5 out of 7, and I'm happy to report that the one plant that I had found in 2011 at Sand Cave, which many people went to today, I had disappeared, and we were not able to find it there, and I looked several times, but April Kinzer was online today, and he texted me a photo of it.
Yay.
So we wrote, the group found another plant, so we can say that it is extant there now. So there's just one site that's not found, and that's the group Pine Hills at Key Hill, where Bowling Rock and a lot of other people had seen plants there in the past. So we may have to continue searching there to turn it up, but so far, definitely danger. Fern.
Right. So I've been thinking a lot too, not just about the drone and what it's doing right now, but also for potential uses in the future. And with rapid advances in drone technology, fleets of drones, called swarms, are becoming more of a real world tool for research. And so my goal for future research is mapping entire forests with small swarms of drones, where you can create 3D orthomosaic photos of the staged images that the drones collect. And then using artificial intelligence to classify the plants within the orthophoto frame.